Hey guys, it's Tinker Tailor here today, back with another Pokemon video. Today we have Cloyster, who is, yesterday I said there was like a clamshell Pokemon. This is a very similar, I'm pretty sure it's the next one in the evolutionary line. But instead of being a horizontal opening, the opening to the clamshell is vertical, and there is a purple purple pearl in the middle of the shell, with a little horn, and it looks like it's you know when you draw, basically it's like the letter D, and you draw them mirrored to each other and then angle the tops of the D away from each other. Those eyes, like it's like, oh, evil eyes, or like I'm angry or whatever, but this Pokemon has a smile on its face as well. So, it's kind of looking like, I don't know how to say this, like mysteriously angry. I don't know, mysteriously angry is absolutely not what I'm trying to say. But it looks like, in mid-battle, it's like, oh, you made a mistake and now I'm gonna win. Like, it's got that sort of, look at the moment. And it's a water-ice type. And I don't know, it looks very competitive to me, this Pokemon right now. And one thing that is competitive to me is ice skating. I did do quite a bit of ice skating as a kid, not competitively, just for fun. And yeah, I've definitely seen people practicing and things like that. There's ice hockey, there's figure skating, and I'm sure there's other things, but yeah, the very competitive sports. And yeah, since this is a water ice type, like that kind of makes sense to me, like making it a competitive place, I guess. So I made this kind of it is an ice rink. It's more than likely usable as an ice rink. I have not play tested it, but from my understanding of how the game works, there's nothing clipping it, so theoretically it should work. And there are bathrooms here as well, so if you do want to take your Sims on dates here, there are bathrooms, and ice skating, and obviously the world around if you just want to, like, wander the world. But yeah, like, there's really not much else going on here. It's mainly just used for ice skating, I guess. And yeah, I don't know, I there are stories obviously out there of how competitive certain sports can be, and people going after each other to try and make sure that they get the spot and not the other person, to compete in whatever competition it is that they're competing in. And yeah, it's kind of scary. And my opinion on that is, if you are not good enough to beat someone else, you like, there's always going to be a top of a leaderboard. There's always going to be someone who's number one, and there's always someone who's going to be at the bottom of the list. Like, there's a finite amount of people, and there's going to be a finite amount of people doing said thing. Which is why, okay, I'm going to take Mario Kart, for example, because it's got 12 spots. Someone's going to come first, someone's going to come 12th. And that's just the way it is. Like, there's no if, buts, or maybes about it. You can't be like, I'm going to just magically go from 12th place to first place. Like, it's not that easy, I guess, yeah. But, there are also times out there where people have accidentally made it through, or things have happened and what rolled into one. For example, speed skaters, which is another ice sport. There was an Australian speed skater who was, he got into, I think it was either he won or placed because a bunch of people fell down in front of him and he skated past them and he was last, and the only reason why he even got into that was because I think the same thing happened at the semi-finals, and there was something else that happened to get him into the semi. Like, it was just like thing after thing after thing, and he ended up winning. So, like, sometimes life just works out that way, where, like, other people, yes, they might be physically more able, I guess. It's not quite the word I'm trying to use, but, like, the to put it plainly, better. But, you know, there's also moments where just because they're better doesn't mean they're smarter, and it's all about balancing everything, you know? I assume that the people who fell over were taking risks to try and beat each other, and that some people, unfortunately, behind them also fell over just because they got caught up in it, and that was, you know, they were being careful, but just because of how close they were, got knocked over. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, the Australian guy, I assume, was maintaining a good pace. I haven't seen it, but I assume he was taking a good pace, and I'm also assuming this is the men's heat. I cannot remember if it was the men's or women's, but I'm pretty sure it was the men's heat. But yeah, no, I assume this guy was taking, you know, being, especially the finals, knowing what happened in the semi-finals, you know, just pace yourself, be good, do what's safe, and yeah, ended up, I don't know if he won or if he placed, but I'm pretty sure he got a medal of some sort, and, you know, he didn't do anything to cheat, he didn't do anything to, you know, break the rules or put other people at a disadvantage. All he did was his best, and that's what matters. So yeah, I don't know, it's sometimes when you're out there and you're doing things, and it's not even like competitive things, but you know, just existing in life, sometimes it does feel like no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, that like it's never going to be good enough, but any effort is better than no effort, and I just want to put out there that I see you and I recognize you, even if I don't know you, even if I don't know what you're doing. I do understand that, yeah, sometimes hearing that you are recognized is very important and special, and yeah, you please be known, please understand that you, yeah, definitely heard and understood, and your effort is valued. So don't give up. Whatever it is you're trying to do, don't give up. And you know what? Sometimes our dreams have to adjust. You know, there's moments in my life where I thought I was going to end up in certain places, and life has shown me that that's not the case. And so I've just pivoted. You know, I always give 110% to what I do, and it's you know, it's important to understand that there are moments where you do have to walk away. You know, again, if you're a sports person, let's say you are a competitive swimmer, but then you have an accident and you are now in a wheelchair for life. That doesn't mean you can't be a sports player, like a sports person. It just means that perhaps this sport is no longer really for you. I don't know if there is a way for paraplegics to swim, and I wouldn't even suggest that, because I don't know what the term for I'm not in a wheelchair. I can walk, but I can't swim, so you know, I wouldn't recommend someone who can't walk to swim. But if there is ways, definitely let me know down below. I love learning about, you know, just the different ways of life and how people live and things like this, so definitely inform me down below if you are paraplegic or quadriplegic and you can swim in some form of any. My swimming is frog swimming. It's not even real. It's the most exhausting swimming, and I've been told it's the worst way to swim. So yeah, look, anything is better than whatever frog swim I do. 90% of me quote unquote swimming is just sitting at the edge of the pool, because yeah, it's just not my scene, not my thing. But yeah, no, long story short, I wanna know. Let me know if you have an alternative way of performing said swimming action. I don't know, that was a weird way to phrase it, but yeah, again, I love hearing about different ways of life, and you know, just because I live one way doesn't mean other people live that way too. And yeah, I mean, I have a family friend who is actually a paraplegic rower, and you know, I remember one of the first times I ever met him, I was quite young, but I was very unsure, and like, one of his kids dropped a plate and it broke, and it was like, oh, do I help, do I not? And he was like, no, I got it, it's fine, like, it's my house. Would you expect me to clean up at your house? Like, would you expect any of your guests to clean up? No. It's like, it's okay, chill. And he took care of it, and you know what, and that really opened my eyes to, like, I was very naive and blind as a kid to that sort of stuff. So, like, yeah, it's why I ask these questions of, like, let me know, like, what are the alternatives? What do you do to do that? Or, did you completely pivot and try something else? Because I'm pretty sure this family friend wasn't wheelchair bound their whole life. I believe it was a car accident, maybe. But the point being is, they adjusted and pivoted their life, and they are now a Paralympic medalist, which is so unbelievably cool. And I've got to hold one of the medals. It's so heavy, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the Paralympic medals have rattles in them, for a range of the people there. So, people who are blind so they can hear it, people who have certain disabilities. It's a not a tactile thing, but like a sensory thing. They like that. Some of them don't, which, I don't think I could deal with a rattle for very long. And that's just, probably to do with impatience more than anything. But, it's really cool to have that rattle, and it does, I believe, I also have a bit of braille on it, which, again, really cool. Like, it's a very, like, holding an Olympic medal would be cool, but I think the Paralympic one is way cooler. It's got so much more detail to it, and it's just really, really cool to have been able to see that. So yeah, I don't even know what to say now, because, again, I could talk forever about how cool that medal was. And I found during the Olympics I watched more of the Paralympics than I did the actual Olympics. But to be fair, I don't really watch sport full stop. I did watch my family friend in his event, and yeah, that was pretty much it. But maybe I'll get a bit more into it. I do kind of like watching feats of great human abilities. So yeah, maybe I'll watch them when they come around again. But anyway, we're getting pretty close to the end here. I'd just like to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe. I do come out with a new video pretty much every single day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.